What up, gamers? Coming out soon, the Masters of Evil Doctor Who deck. I'm into it. Time to show you what I'm upgrading it with. First up, who do we got? We got Davros. We got the boy, right? Dalek, Creator, Menace, beginning of your end step. 3/3 Dalek, artifact, creature token, Menace, lost 3 or more life this turn. Easy mode, right? He's a 3/4, you swing him, you win. Then each opponent who lost 3 or more life faces villainous choice. Draw a card, discard a card. Doesn't matter. He's just a guy. He's a piece in it. We'll see how much he does. Missy, the Shouty. Alright? Whenever a homie dies, return it to the battlefield under your control, face down and tapped. It's a 2/2 Cyberman artifact creature. Sick. Notice how it doesn't say token. Might come up. Who cares? Instead, you get either do damage per artifact creature you control, or you draw a card and chaos ensues. And everybody got to make that choice, right? Not just the 3 life. You can pick either of them. They're both pretty solid. Missy got a higher mana cost, though, because she's just kind of better and drippier than Davros. Alright, what are you going to upgrade it with? The game plan, right? Obviously, what's the game plan with this deck? Artifacts. Artifact creatures, win, right? Artifacts, artifact creatures, win. Pretty self-explanatory. This is an artifact deck. Master of Evil, using your robots to win the game. Alright, what are you going to win it first? I got a Psychomancer, right? Whenever Psychomancer or a non-token, oh, remember those Cybermen? Yeah, these guys. Alright, put it into a graveyard. Yeah, that happens when they die or you sacrifice them, etc., etc. Your homie target loses 1 life and you gain a life. Kind of swag. Or if they exile your stuff, which works with your commanders because everyone hates your commanders, so they're going to leave the battlefield. And it's flying, so you can get a little 1/1 in. Kind of alright. This guy, though, this guy's the goat. He got a tap ability. He's a cryptic from the Necron, Warhammer 40k stuff. It's 1 and a black. Tap. Choose another target artifact creature you control. When that creature dies this turn, return it to the battlefield tapped under your control. So this is pretty much, you could just save your commander. You could save your other combo pieces from late imminent death. It also works with stuff like Solemn Simulacrum. So it'll die. You get its death trigger, and then you return it to the battlefield and get its enter the battlefield trigger. Kind of an easy brain dead combo, and you'll see why it's really good in a second. What else are you going to add in this deck? Canoptic Spider. Okay, this is whenever anyone dies, if you have Missy out, you get to draw a card because an artifact creature is entering the battlefield under your control, and it's not a token, which is pretty swag. Missy is goated with this move. It's also flying in a 4/4, which means you can swing it around if you are feeling ballsy to get the Dalek trigger from Davros if you're running him. We got this guy, though, which is really good if you want to make people die, because this will let you get those Cybermen for free. 1 and 3 black for a artifact creature Necron. It's got flying, and it's a 3/2, which means you can swing out with it when you are feeling it. But most importantly, when it enters the battlefield, each player sacrifices a creature. So that's you as well. You can sacrifice a creature. You could just sack one of your Dalek tokens. You can sack one of your little, your Cyberman token, your Cyberman dudes. Or you could just sack this guy and say, fuck it, let him die. And then he flips over and turns into a Cyberman. So you pretty much don't lose anything. He just turns into a Cyberman, which is pretty sweet. And it has Unearth, so you can swing it back onto the battlefield, which is cool. And you can get some more Cybermen, basically, if you have Missy as your commander. But what are the big boys you want to add to this deck? I say Darksteel Forge. Artifacts you control have indestructible. Whew, Nelly. This is an expensive card for a reason. This homie is gas in any artifact deck. But especially this one, where you literally are turning your opponents into more artifacts for you to play with and have fun with. Pretty sweet. And you're like, but its mana cost is so high. Bro, you got this guy, right? Master Transmuter. Artifact creature. Whoa. Combo. What do you mean? Return an artifact you control to its owner's hand. You may put an artifact card from your hand onto the battlefield. Okay. So if you're like, I don't have 9 mana, but I have 1 blue mana, You could just swap out Master Transmuter for a Darksteel Forge, indestructible. You can also swap out the artifact creature token of a Dalek. You make a Dalek on your end step with Davros, swap them in, Darksteel Forge. Whoa. You won't get the token back to your hand because that's how tokens work. It'll die. But a 3/3 menace for a 9 mana cheat is pretty good. You pay 8 mana and it comes back. And we're going to get a little cheekier with it because this basically lets you cheat in a bunch of your high cost artifacts for practically nothing. You can also just swap Master Transmuter out for anything you really need as well, or to save your, your commander costs like $1 billion once it's been exiled like 3 times. So you could use this to cheat it into your hand and avoid like a board wipe if you have a blue mana floating. It's kind of good. Next up though, we got the Unwinding Clock. Whoa. What does this mean? This means you get to untap that Master Transmuter that we just saw, right? Every turn, you could be swapping out a dude, playing around, doing some crazy stuff with your artifacts. And it's untapping, right? All artifacts you control, which works on all your creatures, so you just can swing out for freezies every time and not have to worry about it. You're tapping all your Basalt Monoliths, all your crazy big mana boys. One of the newer ones from Doctor Who is the Laser Screwdriver, which is in the Master deck. So you could just be tapping people's artifacts. You could be goading them creatures basically every turn. Just be absolutely evil. Unwinding Clock is busted, especially if it's indestructible. Or if you're like, I need to save it because it's about to die. Boom, you swap it around. You have a bunch of artifact recursion and everything like that. So, just natural in the deck. Yeah, there it is. Look at it. 1 mana of any color, so you can use that to tap for the blue mana that you want to use. You can also tap someone else's artifact, which is cheeky. Or if they have an artifact creature or anything like that, you could tap their artifact creatures. Who cares? Rules are crazy. Or you could goad their biggest guy into just fighting. Every turn, you're just like, I don't want you to fight. I don't want you to fight me. I don't want to fight me ever. 3 mana. I mean, your soul ring plus 1 other mana rock is enough to get this Laser Screwdriver absolutely busted and crazy. People aren't talking about it, but I think it's kind of good with Unwinding Clock or anything like that. Pretty swag. Next, if you're like, what's the combo? How do I win? All right, you get your Dalek Drown or any real Dalek or artifact creature, etc. This guy's just really good because he has a cool ETB. When he enters the battlefield, destroy target creature and opponent controls. That player loses 3 life. Ooh, wait a minute, 3 life. That makes us a Dalek token. Yes, it does. And you can do this every single turn. How? Master Transmuter, right? Yeah, your Master Transmuter with your Unwinding Clock or any of your combo pieces, and you can just swap it out, right? You tap, send your Dalek Drone back to your hand, and because of the way it's worded, you can put the Dalek Drone back onto the battlefield, I believe. Could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's how that works, because there's like a break in the sentence. But if not, you could just put another artifact creature, who cares, whatever. And you could just do this every other turn or whatever. Because this will let you basically play your artifacts for free on other people's turns. Because Master Transmuter is 1 and a tap. It'll get untapped by Unwinding Clock, etc. Yeah, and then you just play this guy again. Boom. 3. Destroy your target. Creature and opponent controls. That player loses 3 life. Crazy. Goated. Pretty good. I think the deck is looking pretty swag. And these aren't super big upgrades, besides the Darksteel Forge and maybe the Unwinding Clock if you're feeling a little fancy. But the Master Transmuter and some of the Necrons are all super on the DL, pretty cheap. So you can play around, get your crazy big artifacts out for free, and just have a good time. And just be evil, killing all your opponents and exterminating them. And they will not be happy, but it's also so good and villainous. So who cares?